back to more action here at the Dubai Autodrome. This, of course, now is qualifying for the Golf Pro Car. We've already had two fantastic qualifying sessions already for DSBK National Championship and, of course, the Golf Radical Cup. But now it's time to do it for the Golf Pro Car. Another 20-minute session. I've got to say, I think some cars might have been out a bit too early because, well, someone came across the line within 2 seconds of the session starting. So I think someone's been a bit cheeky out there, but we'll wait and see to see what happens there because we've already got official lap time in as well of a 1:27.955. Guranath, who has joined us this weekend in the 39, has set the fastest lap time. We're looking currently at Vasily Vatikin there in the gorgeous Toyota Supra, or the GR Supra GT4. Fantastic to see this car back again from a series that was here. For a car that was with us last season. Great to see it back here with Vasily Vatikin driving that car. Of course, he was in the Clio last season, and it looks like he's got a teammate today in the Continental Racing Renault Clio Cup 5 generation car is there, and that, of course, is Ivan Stanchin, who is driving that car. We have a whole host of cars here. We've got 16 cars in total here for Golf Pro Car, who have all taken to the track now. Dragon Racing's Guranath, who we're looking at right now. This is the current pole sitter, the 1:27.955 so far, and I think from what I saw in the warm-up session, well, Guranath is entered this championship with a head full of steam. He was the fastest man through warm-up, but warm-up is one thing, qualifying is another, and then the race is a whole different kettle of fish. So let's see what Guranath can do this time around, because he's got some of the best drivers in the region in the same class as him. Because how it works in the Golf Pro Car Series is you'll see there's a multitude of cars on track. You can see 3 awesome Gen 5 Clios there on the right-hand side of your pictures, and Guranath there in his 911 tucking in behind one of those Gen 5 Clios as he works his way through turn 1 here. So we have a multitude of classes. We've got Class 2, we've got Class 3, Class 4, RC, and no Class 5 today, or no prototype either. So we're down to 4 classes by the looks of it. As we said, Class 2, which is currently being led by Dragon Racing's Guranath, who has set the fastest lap of the race so far. The qualifying session so far, 1:26.143. That's 10.2 seconds up the road from Continental Racing's Vasily Vatikin. But Vasily is in a different class. He's in Class 3 with Keith Gatehouse, who has just gone quickest of all in that category in his AMG GT4, 9 seconds back from Guranath. Now in Class 4, the GT86 of Royal Oil Track Days, Ahmed Al-Khaja, he is currently leading the pack in Class 4. A very interesting story of what happened to him last time out at the Yas Marina circuit. We'll get to that later on. But in the RC category of Renault Clio, which we have the biggest field here and the most exciting racing, I'll be honest, here today is probably the Renault Clios, because they are they're all the same spec, they're all the same engine size. It's just the driver and the livery that's different. It's a spec series within a series, and they put on a phenomenal show each and every time they come out here. If you want to see wheel-to-wheel racing, you've got to keep an eye on the Renault Clios, that's for sure. Eduardo Miranda has returned to the championship for TTR and is back with us here in Golf Pro Car, and he's currently leading the pack in the Clio, in the Renault Clio category at the moment. But there are, now how many Clios are there? We've got, at least by the looks of it, I think we've got 7 of them. Yes, we do, because Ivan Stanchin has joined us, Vali Bachmann has joined us, Daniel Jones has joined us, Pascal Bachmann has joined us, as had Eduardo Miranda. Charlotte Simmons and James Greenwood are the only 2 drivers that were with us at the Yas Marina circuit. Here is, well, that's the number 92 that we're currently looking at the moment. That is another driver who has entered the championship for this round here. This is Iran's Masoud Gibran, who is with us this weekend. He's 6.9 seconds off the pace of our pole sitter currently, or provisionally even, of Guranath. And the 488 Challenge car will now work its way through the final corner. In the category with them, we've got Tani Hana. And, well, if you don't recognize the name, he's one of the most talented drivers here with us today. A number of championships under his belt, and one of the biggest racing stars to come out of Lebanon in the past decade or so. A great character in the paddock area. He's always happy to be racing in. It's great to see him back in the championship as well, Tani Hana. Way down at the tail end of the field at the moment we have Avik Anwar, but that car has not come out of the pit lane. I have a feeling Avik might not actually be here this weekend. But we'll wait and see if we can track him down in the pit lane as Guranath has come through and across the line. 2.2 seconds up the road from this man right here, the 92. Now, what can this car do? Now it's showing on our screens here that he's third overall, but on the timing screens, oh well, no, scrap that, because Vasily Vatikin actually is second fastest in that GR Supra GT4, 2.2 seconds. So there's a Class 3 car between our two Class 2 leaders. And that's even with a lap being deleted as well for Vasily Vatikin. Well, that's lap 2 that was deleted for track limits at turn 9, which you saw earlier today in our sessions. Here's the number 74 car. This is the fastest car so far in the Clios, and that's David Pagosian in his Clio Cup Gen 5 for Continental Racing. So that's 3 cars in that category. And that is Keith Gatehouse, who has lost it going through turn 15. Just a bit too early there on the accelerator, almost clips the barrier going through and into the pit lane. Keith Gatehouse was momentarily quickest of all through the Class 3 category. Now he has stopped, pointing the wrong direction, but he's got the car going again. Keith Gatehouse, new to the championship here, going for a quick spin there through turn 15. Has to get to grips here with the track, and the Dubai Autodrome is a completely different challenge from what we had 2 weeks ago down the Yas Marina circuit. But Keith Gatehouse manages to keep it off the barriers, keep it nice and tidy there. And it will continue on here as Tani Hanna now goes second fastest, and there he is on our screen right now with the motif of the Lebanese flag on either side of his car. He is currently a second behind Gurunath at the moment. Both of them entered by Dragon Racing, so a bit of team rivalry going on at the moment. And at Dragon Racing also have the Masoud Jabranin and the Keith Gatehouse car with them as well. So those 4 cars all entered in by Dragon Racing, who recently celebrated 10 years of racing here in the United Arab Emirates. As Tani Hanna now works his way towards the club link, you can see where the back straight is partially cut off. We've got some more on-track activities happening on the other side of the track. So it might seem a little weird seeing those barriers there. You see other cars accelerating off using the second half of the back straight. But of course there are more things happening here at the Dubai Autodrome, always busy. And always an exciting time as well here to be had at the Dubai Autodrome. If you're here in the grandstand, want to come over to the paddock area, there's plenty of things to do and see. You can get up close with the cars, the drivers. There's food trucks. There's plenty of amazing viewpoints as well. Specifically down towards turn 15 and the bowl complex. There's a lovely grass area down there that you can sit, chill, and watch some incredible racing that we have here at the Dubai Autodrome. Now, who's that that's just come out of the pit lane? That was VR1 Racing's Avik Anwar who's come out. So that's great news there for the Class 4 car. The 74 Clio is in. Now, this is the current pole sitter in the Renault Clio category at the moment. Vasily Vatikin, his teammate, has come in as well. More cars coming in the pit lane as well. Khaled Al-Khaja is in. Now, let's get back to the story of Khaled Al-Khaja from the Yas Marina circuit, because, well, he couldn't take part in race 1. He did qualify, but unfortunately did not make it to the track due to a power steering issue, an ECU issue as well. So he did not take part in place 1. And, well, while there might be rivalries on the track, especially if you're in the same category, it's friendship in the paddock area and the pit lane. Because, of course, if you've got a spare car and it's not being raced, well, might as well let someone in your class borrow it so you can go racing as well. And that's exactly what Avik Anwar did last time out of the Yas Marina circuit. The team were conferring all the way up, I think, about till 10 minutes before the race started to get that car sorted out for Khaled Al-Khaja. But it was a very kind gesture from Avik Anwar to do that for a rival in his class, just to get more cars out there on track. And, well, we did get to see Khaled Al-Khaja racing with us last time out the Golf Pro car. Well, it seems to be he's got all the issues sorted out on his car this weekend, so he's back behind the wheel of his own car. The front of the field is set by 0.6 of a second so far. Gurunath is just ahead of Tani Hanna for the time being. We've got now that sounds like an engine refiring and exiting the pit lane, so we'll see who that is when they work their way out. Keith Gatehouse has just come across the line as well. He is currently sat 5th overall and 2nd in class He will line up alongside Vasily Vadakin. No, he won't, because he's in 5th. Vasily is 4th. So that means Vasily will start 1 row ahead of him, and that gives him the benefit going down towards turn 1. 9 minutes remaining in this session here around the Dubai Autodrome. We're looking at the number 92. This is one of our newcomers to the championship in the Golf Pro Car. This is Masoud, who's currently circulating. He's working his way through turn 16 right now, behind the wheel of his 488 Challenge car, and looking to improve, but not personal best through sector 1 or sector 2, as looks like the GR Supra has been released back on track, as has the pole sitter currently for the Clios has also gone out as well. David Pagassian has gone out this time around as well. So no improvement there from the man that's currently sat in 3rd position. It's good enough so far for the 2nd row of the grid as he comes up on some traffic, and that's going to play a key factor in the race as well. It'll be a 25-minute race that'll take place later today. Actually, 2 25-minute races for these Golf Pro Car drivers, and well, traffic's going to play a key part in all of this as well, because we did see that happen during the first races a couple of weeks ago, and well, some drivers might not actually be used to driving in traffic. It's a great learning experience, because of course a lot of drivers here race overseas as well. They race in some of the biggest races here, such as the Dubai 24-hour, the 6 Hours of Abu Dhabi, the Golf Historic as well, which comes up in a couple of weeks' time. You can grab your tickets for that, and they are selling out fast. It's going to be an amazing event. It's the 3rd time we're doing it as well. We're back now with the 39 with the lap time of 1:26.143. So Guranath has managed to put some more time between himself and Tanihana. That gap has now gone up to a full 2nd separating the two of them. But Tanihana was quickest through sector 3 this time round. Now, what can Tani do? Can he find some more time? He's got a wealth of experience here around the Dubai Autodrome, as Guranath continues to circulate now. He's working his way onto the back straight for the time being. Here's Vasily Vadakin, the leader in Class 3 at the moment in the Continental Racing number 96. The sole GR Supra GT4. Now, what can he do? He's fresh out in the pit box. It looks like he's really pushing it there through the corners. Almost 4 wheels off there. You don't want to invalidate your lap time there, Vasily. Of course, the winner in Class 3 last time out was Vasily Vadakin. And he's now working his way now towards the back straight, and he'll be working his way through the Cub Link. He's really pushing hard, isn't he? Is Vasily Vadakin this time through. And, well, that might be a bit too much pushing from the Cypriot driver, as he now works his way through the Club Link. There he is snaking his way through up towards the Bowl Complex. A little bit more modest there through the Bowl Complex, if I'm honest, for Vasily Vadakin. May have been pushing a little bit too hard there through turn 6. As now through turn 15 he goes, and actually that looks a lot slower than what we saw him do in the first sector of the lap there. So I think he's well, could that just be the angle that we're looking at here? He doesn't seem to be up to speed. No, he's definitely not up to speed. So I think he's just taking a wider line here to ensure a straight line as he exits the corner here, and now he's going to start pushing once again, as Vadakin there across the line, as Tanihana has come into the pit lane. A quick chat with the team. Some minor adjustments there for the Lebanese driver. A flash of the lights from Vasily Vadakin as well. Car 96, lap 6 invalidated. No surprise there that lap time was invalidated there from Vasily. Again, pushing very, very hard there through turn 6. And let's see if he can keep it all 4 wheels on track this time round, and if he can work his way up the order. So we're looking now at 3rd overall. Javan, who is currently 3rd overall here in his first weekend in the Golf Pro Car Series, is edging close. He's 7/10 of a second back behind Tanihana, who's currently in the pit lane. Guranath is also in the pit lane as well. So the pole sitter in there, that reduces the amount of traffic, but of course it also reduces the amount of quick cars on track, so that means there's more slower cars to deal with at the moment. Car 71's lap time has been invalidated from lap 2, and that is Avik Anwar, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. Down in 14th position. Of course, he came into this session a little bit later on, and he's ahead of Valery Bachman and Krishna Redipati, who is also in Class 4. As the 3rd place driver currently works his way towards the Club Link, up through the sector he goes. And it's quite a tricky sequence of corners there. It's very easy to get it wrong, that's for sure. As he works his way through the Bowl Complex now, and through turn 15. doesn't look up to speed either through that corner. Now, as he dives to the pit lane, I think he has, yes. The third place driver, Masoud Jibrani, has now worked his way into the pit lane. It did look like he was on his cool down lap, essentially there. He was slow through the last couple of corners there in sector 3. But interesting enough, he's not come into the pit lane. Oh, yes, he has now. Now he's come. I forget how long the pit lane is here at the Dubai Autodrome, but there he is now into the pit lane. The limiter is on to ensure that he doesn't get pinged for speeding in the pit lane. So we've got the top 3 now in the pit lane as he approaches his pit box, which leaves Vasily Vatikin now out on track as the only car on the top 5 that's currently still circulating, excuse me, as he's not improved his time yet. 1/40 of a second behind the Masoud Jibran, driven at number 92. Back now with the Clios. This is the 41 car at the moment. This is Pascal Bachmann, who is currently in 11th place overall, currently sat in 5th actually in the Clios. As Pascal looking to improve his time here to see if he can get closer to the back of Daniel Jones. He's got Charlotte Simmons though in front of him. Charlotte's the only female driver in the field, and here is Avik Anwar's number 71. He is going to start doing double duties this season soon enough, because of course not only has he got his AE86 to contest in the Golf Pro Car, he will also be contesting in the Clio Cup Middle East when that restarts later on this year. Currently sat in 2nd overall in Class 4, a little bit further back from Ahmed Al-Khaja, but Al-Khaja currently in the pit lane, and he is one of 2 cars that is circulating in Class 4 for VR1 Racing. The third car is RKC's Autotech Karishna Reddy-Patti, who is currently circulating as well. 10.5 seconds of Valery Bachmann's time, and a little bit further back from the number 71 at the moment. Here's the R2 Race Renault Clio. This is the car that's currently 3rd overall. Daniel Jones behind the wheel works his way through the final corner and across the line. As Pascal Bachmann has just moved up. Sorry, that was Pascal Bachmann. That was not Daniel Jones that we're looking at, because that's the 41. Daniel Jones is the 3, and well, the R2 Race number 41 has improved its time to go 4th fastest in the Renault Clios, and he's now just a 1/10 of a second, or just over a 1/10 of a second behind Daniel Jones's Clio Cup Generation 3 car, with a 1:41.152 that time round. As he'll continue to push now in the closing stages of this session. We've got just over a minute remaining here around the Dubai Autodrome. Again, the whole weekend here we're using the national circuit configuration, 3.56 kilometers in length, which features a small portion of the back straight and of course the Club Link area as well. So more cars now coming into the pit lane. We've got a handful of cars though still circulating as Ivan Stanchin has moved up into 12th position overall in the 64. There is the number 11, the RKC Autotech of Karishna Reddy-Patti, and the Honda EP3 currently circulating. Cresting over turn 15 and down towards the heavy braking zone of the final corner. Goes deep into the corner there, trying to improve his lap time to move his way up the order, 10.5 seconds behind Valery Bachmann's R2 race car. And there is the 92 being pushed down the pit lane. As we have just less than 10 seconds remaining on the clock here in our qualifying session, as Daniel Jones has come into the pit lane. I think that's his time in the session done and dusted. Indeed it is, as the checkered flag is out now for Golf Pro Car. It looks like Guranath will be the pole sitter now for Golf Pro Car. The first race of the day to take place later on. Up next we'll have more racing action from the Golf Radical Cup. Tanihana will line up alongside him in the 57. Now as the rest of the cars now work their way, you can just see Avik Anwar there in between the 2 Clios. There he is now working his way through the Club Link here for the final time. And what can he do to improve? He's currently sat in 2nd position. He's not gone green though through sector 1 or 2, so unfortunately I don't think there's going to be a big improvement here from Avik Anwar as he works his way through turn 15. but he's going to continue to push here as he crests over the top there, down towards turn 16 goes here now for the final time. Can he take pole position away in class 4 from Ahmed Akhaja? As Clio's in front of him come across the line, that's the 74 that's come across the line, and will take the pole position in the category as well. And David Pogossian there will take the checkered flag and of course pole in the Renault Clios, ahead of Eduardo Miranda, who's already been in the pit lane for TTR. So just one car now left to come through, this Daniel Jones, but I think he came into the pit lane already, and then the last car to come through will be Krishna Reddy Patty, who will work his way into the pit lane. And well, that brings an end to our qualifying session here, our final qualifying session today, I think, as well, for the 3 categories that we're running. There are the runnings at the moment. You see Guranath there at the top of the tables there with a lap time of 1:26.143 and a gap of 1 second separating himself and the number 57 of Tani Hannah. In Class 3, Vasily Vatikin will sit 1 row in front of Keith Gatehouse. Vasily will be on the 2nd row of the grid on the outside, with Keith Gatehouse being on the inside of row number 3. In the Clios, of course, that will line up alongside Keith Gatehouse, David Pogossian in his first race weekend with us here in the Golf Pro Car. In Class 4, though, it will be Ahmed Akhaja who lines up on the 5th row of the grid, sharing that row with Pascal Bachmann in Class 4. There is Adi Kanwar on his cool-down lap, and he'll come into the pit lane. And well, in a few short moments we'll get a quick recap of all the action that's happened here in this qualifying session for the Golf Pro Car. But for now, that is the end of the session. And then of course, coming up next, well, let's have a look actually what time our first Golf Pro Car race starts, and it will be at 35 minutes past 1 will be when the safety car is deployed to the grid, and the race will officially begin at 55 minutes past 1 later on today. And of course, that is local time here in the United Arab Emirates. But up next, we have 2 races before we have a break, and that will be the Golf Radical Cup and of course the first race for the DSBK National Championship here around the Dubai Autodrome. Again, all 3 series will run the same circuit configuration. They'll all run on the national circuit. And let's have a look now at the replay and the highlights of our qualifying session for the Golf Pro Car.
Bye.